Krista Adana, good morning.
Good morning to you, Ruth.
All right, so nice to have you today
Same
after
here.
long weekend. Was it long enough?
It wasn't long enough, trust
Really?
me. It was so short.
Oga was talking about having how many days in a week? 9 days, did he say? I was just listening to him. We want 3, 4 days in a weekend. No,
Weekend.
in a weekend.
Yes.
Let's have 4 days for a
Sincerely,
weekend.
that would be really awesome.
All right. Well, that was on a lighter note. We wish, if wishes were horses, yeah?
Beggars would ride.
So we have 2 days, just 2 days for the weekend, and most of us just spend a day. But it's all good. We're back on Probono Chambers, where we love to offer assistance to you as you're listening to us right now. It's all about legal matters, legal battle situation, confusion, questions, and what have you. But then your mind can be at rest because we have our in-house barrister who is always ready to provide you with such legal advice that you need, as always. And that makes it pro bono. You don't get it anywhere else. No radio station offers you this, but
Except
here,
on Human Rights Radio.
except Human Rights Radio. And so we take a lot of pride in it. And we're here today to share some of this beautiful information. You know, as we always like to talk about things that would bring enlightenment to you too, especially as it concerns your right, how to know how to go about, you know, living your life in your country and all the things you stand to benefit. Sometimes we don't know all those things. And hey, today we want to open your eyes to something very interesting: health and safety at the workplace. It's something very interesting. Some people work in some work conditions that could be hazardous, that could be detrimental to our health to some extent.
Truly.
How do we know that, okay, our employer actually, you know, do have us in mind to ensure that we are secured even as we carry out our
This jobs.
yeah.
Or how do we even seek for redress when instances of where these hazards cause us some injuries, whether minor or major injuries? How do we seek for redress?
Okay.
How do we, get the attention of our employers if this, even if they hadn't caused us any injuries, there's a need for preventive measures? How do we get the attention of the employers to understand that we need to know these hazards? We need to know risk management concerning health and safety management. You know, we need to know the ways to mitigate the hazards even before they come.
So as it is right now, we're
some
going
people
to
don't
learn.
even understand the preventive measures
Yeah.
that should be employed, or their right to certain equipment.
That's it. That we even have a right to, you know, work in a
Exactly.
safe environment.
Definitely.
And if anything goes wrong, it is our right to ask for redress. It's our right for our employer to take responsibility.
Definitely, and for employees to protect each other at the workplace.
Okay.
That is what health and safety management entails. It's about the promotion and maintenance of the social, the mental, and the physical well-being of persons in the workplace. It also the sum total of every activity that persons within the workplace engage themselves in, either to maintain or to promote.
Okay, can I quickly interrupt your line? And I hope you get back on track.
Yes,
You
I will.
mentioned, you know, the mental. So it's not just about physical.
So it's not about the physical, yeah.
Oh, so it could
also has
also
to do with
be-
the mental,
Wow.
being, And then we're looking at structures like the formal and the informal industries. The formal industries are referred to construction companies, to the oil and gas companies, to the banking sectors. I like to pinpoint on, when I say oil and gas, I also pinpoint on every existing industry, like factories too, that deal on petroleum and every form of minerals. Also the agricultural companies or the
Okay.
agricultural industries. That is for the formal industries. For the informal industries are like the mechanics, the roadside welders. We have persons who engage in certain activities in the market, the traders, for instance, people who grind pepper, they need to understand that this is need for health and safety management sensitization, or there's a need for protective measures for health and safety.
But
because
those are their personal businesses. I mean,
oh,
we're
their
talking
personal
about very
businesses.
small
Yes,
scale,
their
yeah.
personal businesses. But sometimes, most of them don't do it as personal businesses. Even when you do it as personal businesses, you need to understand that there are hazards that come with this. You need to be sensitized to have protective measures, to understand the risk management that are involved in the health and safety, yes, or in that kind of business that you're doing. However, in the workplace, it is the obligation of an employer to protect the employee in the workplace. And protecting them doesn't only mean that he has to make them to understand the health and safety management or occupational safety and health regulations. No, it also involves making available the protective equipment that should be used by these persons to protect themselves, making them understand how to look out for each other in the workplaces. Also making them to identify hazards when they see one, you know, because some persons don't even know that some places are are hazardous in nature at their workplace. For instance, I would use my office as an example, like the Human Rights Radio. There's when you come into Human Rights Radio, there's a road for persons with disabilities, and there's a route for persons who don't need to be on wheelchair, you know, or who don't need to come in with any form of aid into the office, you know. So we have made provision for any possible hazards that would have been encountered by persons with disabilities, because there's a route for them to come in. That's applicable in our restrooms too for them, you know. Now, in some organizations or some companies, there's nothing like that. It's either a staircase for everybody or nothing.
No fire extinguishers.
No fire extinguishers.
We have them a lot here.
No form of, let's say, health centers around that could provide with little aids, medical aids, where injuries occur. No compensations to persons paid with or persons who face major injuries. People are not sensitized on knowing that these hazards can occur in the workplaces. There are no form of personal protective equipment to workers, especially workers who engage themselves in very physical activities at the workplaces to be productive. For instance, the construction companies. You know, we have a lot of people who had suffered, you know, a lot of injuries that has maimed their physical nature for life, and hadn't even gotten any form of redress from construction companies or from the employers wherever they are located. So, like, we have such people, and even when they institute civil action, sometimes the compensation that they give to them are not even equated with what is supposed to be paid to them as regards to the lack of the provision of health and safety regulations or the health and safety management and measures for employees. We also, the employees are not trained to know the protective measures in workplaces.
Why don't we instead put it this way? Why don't we just say, okay, employees should be trained to know? Because right now, you know, you're stating the issues, areas where, you know,
they need improvement.
Yeah. Now, many offices perhaps or organizations could be lacking. Let's put it this way so that, you know, people listening, let them hear that first of all, you have a right to work in a safe environment. If, for instance, you're working in a factory, because, I mean, some work environments are more hazardous compared to others. So those with high risk should and must have certain things, you know, in place and all that. And employees should be informed about this, and they need to be trained even as to how they can handle some of these things. Yeah, I think that's why we have this fire drill. What do they call it? Fire something drill, like, you know.
Is it a fire extinguisher you're talking about?
No, just a drill for you to be able to, you know how to, for instance, yes, use the fire extinguisher and stuff like that, just to be, you know, equipped for when you need to make use of any of these things that are provided for their safety.
Okay, before I dive into that, I would like to say that in the developed countries, the issue on health and safety management is well upheld in their industries.
Okay.
They make it a paramount objective for every employer to engage in when taking in their employees. They make sure that employees understand that phase of their work schedule or their work life while being employed. And it is the employer's obligation. They even make provisions for the employee to know that if such health and safety measures or health and safety management is not upheld within an organization, if you're working in there, you are at risk at that point in time, or you even have a right to report such existing organization. Now, the case is not same in Nigeria because a lot of companies or industries hadn't been sensitized on that. Though the Ministry of Labor and Productivity have made some provisions, and even the labor law had touched issues that concern the safety of an employee in a workplace, the essentials that have to be attached to an employee's protection and maintenance of such person's rights in the workplace, which includes his safety and security. Also, the Factories Act had made provision for employees who work within the factory to be protected as it concerns their health and safety management or management issues in the workplace. So there are existing laws in Nigeria, but the practicability is where we are today. And then a lot of employees are not aware of these existing laws, so they don't even know.
So they also need sensitization.
Exactly. So they don't even know when it's violated or when it's needed in a particular place. Looking at, there's a provision, it's called the Occupational Safety and Health Regulations. It was initiated by the Ministry of Labor and Productivity to be associated with industries or companies who have employees, especially those who engage in hazardous activities in such workplaces. So this helps regulate such persons or regulates the presence in the workplaces as it concerns health and safety. The essence of health and safety is just for protection and maintenance of the well-being of workers within an environment.
Well, the workers need to be alive
and
to
yes,
work.
for them to work. So
Yeah.
there's a need for that to be upheld, and there's a need for that to be understood. And there are laws to protect you as well.
Okay, we'll come back to that thought in just a moment, but we need to go on a quick commercial break. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Beyond Radio 101.1. You know, Rights Radio.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Redefining broadcasting.
Ọ bụ ife eji esi nri, ọ bụ akwa na akpụkpọ ụkwụ, ka ọ bụ akpa ụmụ gị ji eje akwụkwọ na ife iji achọ mma. Gbalubia Halibis Mall, isi ụlọ ngwaahịa anyị dị na +660 Cadastral Zone B1, Franca Afegua Crescent Zone E, Apo Legislative Quarters, Gudu District, Abuja. Anyị nwekwara ụlọ ngwaahịa anyị ọzọ na number 1 Medical Center Road, Maraba, Abuja. Nke ikpeazụ bụ na number 21 Sariki Meizabo Road, opposite FMC, Kefi, Nasarawa State. Gwa anyị na ekwentị. Akara ekwentị ị ga-eji nweta anyị bụ 081 ka mkpọkwa ya n'olu ndị iti 08159510000. Halibis Mall nwere ife niile ị chọrọ n'ofu ebe. Ngwaahịa anyị adịrị ọnụ ma dịrị mma nke ukwuu. Gbalụ bịa na Halibis Mall. Nnọọ.
This is to inform the FCT indigenes that the online applications for Nigerian Army recruitment exercise for 77 regular recruits intake will be from 29th December 2017 to 9th February 2018. The application form is free and will be available online at the recruitment portal www.recruitment.army.mil.ng. All applications will be screened online and qualified applicants will be shortlisted to attend the physical screening exercise at Mogadishu Barracks, Abuja. A state licensed officer will be required to confirm indigency. He would also be required to liaise for the necessary administrative and logistics arrangements for convenience during the recruitment exercise. FCT Administration Announcer.
As a business owner, you may be asking yourself for reasons why you should advertise with Human Rights Radio. Well, I will give you 5. 1. We operate a 24-hour Facebook TV that accommodates all our shows, and with 50,000 views per show. 2. All around the world, millions of people tune into our station live on our Human Rights Radio app, available on Android and iOS. 3. We are employing over 2,000 conversers ready to attend to all your advertising needs. 4. With our very affordable rates, you are guaranteed the best value for your money. 5. We go beyond radio and can be found on all other social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Periscope, proving that while other stations enjoy listenership, we enjoy followership. The question shouldn't be reasons why you should advertise with Human Rights Radio. The real question is reasons why you haven't. Welcome to Nigeria's first magazine radio, Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting. Join our diverse team of legal experts as we provide education and guidance to you, our listeners, on a broad array of issues raised by the modern legal landscape, absolutely free on Probono Chambers, airing on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
Probono Chambers continues right here on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Thank you for staying with us. This is Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. I am Ruth, and I've been speaking with our in-house barrister, Adana. This morning we're looking at health and safety tips, such provisions that should be made for people, especially in the work environment, and for you and I to know what rights we have in this matter, and that we can actually even seek for redress in any area, perhaps that we feel that these rights are not fully being met. So as we're back now, we have been talking about places where there may be a lot of need for, these provisions to be made. However, what about offices, organizations where you don't have these risks very obvious? I mean, you don't have to work with machineries. You're not that exposed to things that could either cut you physically, cause you injury and all that. What kinds of provisions should employees expect in such organizations?
Okay, thank you very much. One of the provisions is to make sure that there are preventive and proactive approaches. To expose the minds of the employee to understanding that there's a need for risk assessments, this possibility of any risks happening at the workplace. There's a need for them to know that hazards should be identified. There are certain things that happen at the workplace we don't identify as hazards. So they should be able to have the knowledge to identify hazards. They should be able to have the knowledge to mitigate hazards. And then they should be able to have the knowledge of treating minor injuries. That's, sometimes persons who are employees at the workplace are provided with first aid buses, so that where minor injuries occur, they have access to first aid buses. So in such places where people will have to do their job sitting for hours in a very comfortable and sweet environment, giving them a first aid bus or providing them with first aid medical facilities, it's an easier way of helping them.
These boxes, do they usually include things like pain relieving meds? The common things we know, I know plaster. And I know it should include that as well. I'm just thinking out loud right now. At that point, will it not be self-medication? Because you don't necessarily have to have a medical practitioner on ground.
That's what they're called, first aid. Yeah,
because so you can, by the time you take paracetamol now,
exactly,
you've self-medicated. That's my point.
No, paracetamol is not part of what's it called? First aid. It shouldn't be part of the first aid.
It should not be.
Yes.
They're just things that you could physically use to
curb just physical injuries, to take care of that.
I used to think you should include that. Are you sure? Okay, we're on radio now.
I think you need the advice of a physician, a medical physician before you go on using any form of medication.
Okay. Obviously, like she said, she's not a medical practitioner, but I was just putting her on the hot spot there. But it's all good. So these are the things that they can provide first aid kit to ensure that minor injuries are being taken care of before you proceed to your medical doctor or the hospital.
Definitely.
All right. So feel free to join the conversation right here, right now by calling the number 081-8999-1011. It's Probono Chambers, where we provide you with free legal advice. So feel free to call in. If you have questions about what we're discussing this morning, feel free to do that. If your questions are based on other matters relating to matters of the law, feel free to call in as well and ask your questions. That is why it is Pro Bono Chambers. We're here for you to provide you with free legal advice. So let's see who gets here first. Remember, when you do call in, to turn off your radio, please. Hello?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome. And for some reasons, the call ended. Please find a way and get back to us right here in the studio. 081-8999-1011. That is the number to call Pro Bono Chambers this morning and ask your questions. That will definitely be answered. Let's see who we have here now. Hello? Okay, there was another hitch there. Let's try this now.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome to Pro Bono Chambers. What's your name?
My name is Larry.
Larry, welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Thank you for the good job you guys have been doing. Really enjoy your program.
Thank you.
Concerning the health matters. Hello?
Yes, we're listening.
Yes, concerning the health matters, I want to bring the scenario into play. These four white men that were kidnapped a few days ago, actually they were fine. It's a Nigerian. Now, after they released them, what should the government do concerning that Nigerian that was part of those kidnapped? What are the health issues? We don't even know. They don't even call in to say, oh, are you okay? Do you need medical help? What should the government do concerning those people that are their citizens that need something of that? Because I don't think they are even doing anything, because nobody's even talking about it. Only the white men. What should government do? What should be their actions concerning their citizens that was kidnapped in their own country? So disheartening and so frustrating that in our country will be kidnapped, and the government is not even doing anything concerning the health and the safety of the citizens. I think we should talk about that now.
Okay. Thank you for your call.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. So he's using something, very recent so what can be done in that situation?
I listened to Esri, concerning this same situation. I think a lot of Nigerians are aggrieved because this Nigerian who wasn't spoken about still represents all of us as citizens. And as citizens, we're made to understand that we have our fundamental human rights protected under the 1999 Constitution. We're made to understand that the ground norm of the land is looking out for us and looking out for our interests. But then from upcoming situations, it seems like nothing like that is actually in existence. This issue has raised a fear, not just in the person who was kidnapped, but in other existing citizens. What he can do is to thank God for the gift of life and survival, with the situation of the country, because there's nobody he can possibly even hold responsible as being responsible for not being aired, because the media did not mention this particular Nigerian who was kidnapped. The foreigners were the ones who were being mentioned subsequently, and they were the ones who were looked out for by their government.
After thanking God, as we're so known for.
Yeah, he can't really sue anybody for not mentioning his existence.
Well, not so much about not mentioning his existence, but then he was on duty.
He was on duty.
Yes, it was part of perhaps the risks, involved in his type of career.
Job, yes.
So,
for the question that was asked, it's for the country, but for his workplace, I'm sure they will have certain benefits accrued to him to...
Where is his workplace as a police officer?
No, he's talking about the one Nigerian who survived the kidnaps.
Oh, I thought he was part of he was a policeman.
No, not
Okay,
a policeman.
okay,
The person who drove the foreigners.
Okay.
Yeah, his workplace would definitely make provisions for the trauma he has gone through, you know, and then give him some time to deal with the trauma. If we're in a developed society, some psychological medications will be made available for this person, and he would need to be with a psychologist for a period of time so that his mindset can be stable for him to continue to work, you know, and that is what it ought to be
That
in
is
his
what is obtainable.
position. Yes, what should be obtainable, because, you know, in the Nigerian phase or sector, I doubt it's really obtainable, and that is part of health and safety management. When
we
issues
should
like this,
encourage that.
yes, we're encouraging it. So when issues like this arise, we encourage that the workplaces would have to pay attention to the mindsets or the availability of this individual to their workplace, add positivity to their workplace, other than, you know, just the physical.
Yeah, because earlier when you were giving
additions.
an explanation to the whole concept, you did mention that it involved even mental safety, and state of mind, and all
Exactly.
that. So does it mean organizations should have psychologists
Definitely.
who work with them?
Definitely, yeah. For instances like this.
Yeah.
But if it's going back to the government itself, making provisions for that, Nigeria hasn't come to that point.
What is stopping us from getting to that point?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think I will ask you same.
Hopefully we'll get to that point soon.
You know, Nigeria hasn't come to that point where a lot of attention is paid to the citizens' well-being. No.
Sometimes I get tired of hearing in the Western world, in other
developed
developed countries, you know, when are we ever going to perhaps, you know, be used with such examples and say, oh, okay, if you go to Africa, if you go to Nigeria, this is what they do, you know, something other people would want to learn from. It looks like we're 100 million miles away from achieving that. But then I'm sure if we continue to talk about it and talk about the benefits, especially attached to some of these things, we should be able to.
This young man, I think his name is Sunday Akisanya, he wasn't identified in any part of the media. He wasn't identified at all. So
really, really sad.
Yeah, it's saddening. So it's good for us to, with this incident, encourage that the media should also try and do a better job. You know, I'm sure they're trying to look for what headlines will sell, but they should do a better job to protect us citizens too.
Interesting. Well, you can call in 081-8999-1011. That's the number for you to reach us in the studio. It's Probono Chambers, where you get to interact with our in-house barrister. If you have any question that has anything or everything to do with legal matters, feel free to call in and have your questions answered. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome. What's your name?
My name is Abdul. I'm calling you from Metuma today. I was the one that called you on Friday from Central Area.
Okay, we're listening, Abdul.
God bless you for the good work people have been doing. It's about that lady that I seek advice for you last week for what happened in the village.
Oh, Abdul, that took off.
I remember you, Abdul.
Yeah, okay. So, like, somebody called me, somebody called him that Friday was like, maybe I raped the girl or something. The girl raped her. She's my girl. And it happened to us willingly, and she's not with her. I either mind myself and mine not. That I'm about. Is what the man is emphasizing, that particular man that called that day. That is the same thing the other man is saying, that I've already spoiled his daughter and he's going to do it. That is just his name.
I think eventually
Abdul,
what we were
I
also
advised,
asking was what the family of the girl were charging him for.
Yeah, what were they charging you for?
What was their grievance with you exactly? Just was it beyond getting their daughter pregnant?
Hello?
Yes. What is the problem you're having with the father to your girlfriend? Is it just that you got her pregnant, or there are more issues? We need to know.
No, there's no any issue. The father even likes me, but why I even said make that comment that the father did to another person is because the way the father was giving.
Why is her father getting?
My girl.
Why is her father getting you arrested?
Happened between me and the father, or maybe I get her pregnant just because I want to get her or something. No, not like that. It happened willingly. Understand? And it happened because we love ourselves. But the father was like, because he wants to use his power just because he's a charmer or something.
Abdul, do you intend to marry her?
Yes, the father refused. See, when the pregnancy happened, when they said, okay, I'm going to take responsibility of everything. The girl will be with me. I'll train her.
What was her own?
For her
what did she say herself? What was her own point?
That is faithfully.
Abdul.
That's okay. I'm going to pay after she would have been given. But the man said no, that he don't want me to train his daughter for him. That he can take care of his family. That what he just wants to see him. That is all.
Okay, thank you for calling. I think you should put off your radio and listen.
Okay, yeah, he ended the call.
Thank you for calling.
Okay.
This Abdul's issue, like I said earlier, last Friday, he needs to go and meet with the family and tell what his intentions are. Calling on the program and telling us what he thinks we need to hear is not the way forward. From every part of the story, it doesn't seem like Abdul really wants to take responsibility, even if her family is attacking him.
But he said he was willing to.
He said,
but the man
didn't make any from his. He told us he took off
because they wanted to arrest him.
And then he said he's not even sure he was the father of this child. Don't forget the story.
He mentioned that, yes, he
exactly.
did.
So it doesn't look like
but
he has the
intention. But even that day, he did tell us that he wanted to take responsibility, but the man said no, he would take care of his daughter.
So why is he trying to?
Because he's avoiding arrest. That's just how I'm seeing it. I mean, I don't know Abdul from anywhere, but these are the things he has said so far.
Abdul hasn't done anything criminal, even if he's arrested.
Well, you know how it is. Nobody wants to, get arrested for any reason. I mean, even if... but then, like you said, even you said the other day that the man didn't have any right to arrest him, especially because it's not a rape case or anything like that.
From his story,
it was consensual.
Except we hear from the father,
yes,
of the girl.
Well then, Abdul, I hope you find a way around
the issue because it's quite complicated.
Okay, I think we have a few more minutes to do this. So call us on 081-8999-1011. That's 081-8999-1011. Probono Chambers provides you with free legal advice, so you get to call in and ask just about any question on this program. So do that right now, and you will have your answers straight up. Let's see who we have here. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Morning, you're welcome. What's your name?
My name is Daniel. I'm calling from Italy.
All right. Let's hear you, Daniel.
My own problem is that, in my village now, we have a land, actually. Okay. And so my cousins, my dad's cousins are dragging for the land. And they won on that land. They won, and my uncle also seek for appeal. Then my uncle has seek for appeal. Now went to sell the land. That was last week. He sold the land about 3 million naira. Now, for me now, I want to sue the case to court again. I don't know about my target now.
Has the case gone to court before?
Yes.
Who owns the land?
It's ours.
And then what was the determination of the courts?
Okay, what my uncle did, he bribed the judge actually. Everywhere that it was clear that he bribed the judge, and even the judge now is dead already.
Okay, you can go on appeal.
Yes, wait for appeal. Yes.
Okay, so what is the determination of the courts?
No, for appeal now, since then, the case is about next month, 17, yeah. And now he wants to sell the land again. He has sold the land already, now.
Okay, just, you have the services of your lawyer. Do you have the services of your lawyer?
Do you have the services of your lawyer? What? Okay, now we cannot hear you as well. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yes.
Okay, she's asking if you have your lawyer.
No, I don't have a lawyer, yes. I don't have a lawyer.
You have to get the service of the lawyer to go on appeal.
Okay.
Yes. Then they will take it from there, yeah. Until the determination of the courts, then I can tell you what I have to tell you.
Okay, so get a lawyer and then go and appeal.
Okay, no problem.
Each time I re-echo something like
if
that.
A matter, if a matter concerning a particular property or a land is existing in the courts, and whoever is being sued, who is a defendant, is still making developments on the property, the lawyer in question, who is employed by the appellants or the plaintiff, who is going to the courts, would have to make an application for an injunction for discontinuance of whatever activity is going on the property or the land in question, so that the matter should be determined for the appropriate owner to take responsibility or take over the property. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning, welcome. What's your name?
My name is Godwin.
Godwin, we're
Calling you from
listening.
Itama.
Okay.
All right. So I also have an issue. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I once dated a lady. We met like February last, sometime 2016.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so the month we met, I went to family to tell them of my intention to get married to her. And then she traveled to the village, that's her village, for a burial, and then she didn't return, and she wasn't on phone. She doesn't have phone. So till she now returned with a baby, like 6 months after. Then the family claimed it was my baby. I was not informed of anything. No pregnancy, no nothing. They just brought the baby that she gave birth to the baby, and she said, I am the son of the baby. In this case, what do I need to do? Because they almost took me to the station. I said, so let's go there. They refused. Okay, let's do DNA. They refused. And if they are keeping quiet, I don't know what their next action is. So what do I do?
Okay, what you need to do is, first, you need to understand that you can't be forced to take responsibility of that child without you ascertaining that you're the father of the child. Make them understand the need for DNA so that you can assume responsibility if you're the true parents or the father of that child. And then if you feel that the family could be threatening to your life, you can go to the nearby police station and report that there's a possibility of threat to your life, pending when anything happens, just for security purposes. Hello?
Okay, I think he entered the call.
So try and engage whoever is the father or mother or the guardian to this particular girl, and make them understand the need for the DNA test so that you can assume responsibility. Except where you feel there will be threats on your life, you go to the nearby police station and make a report so that you're covered.
Okay. I hope that helps you out. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning. Please turn off your radio.
Damien, this is from...
Your name is Damien?
Hello?
Okay, can you hear me? All right. We lost that call there. That would have been our last call, but let's see if this will be. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having you online today. I'm the first caller.
Okay.
Hello?
Oh, is your first time calling?
Yes.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you. So, I have
the same complaint in around 2014 December. Hello?
Yes, we're listening.
Yes, 2014 December, I was dating a lady. And actually, we are a friend before. I have a girl that I want to marry. She's in school. Then, I don't know, it's just like a setup, but actually this girl told me that she took him. I said, okay. I keep on to the time till he delivered the baby in the normal month. I accepted the baby. Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I accepted the baby. She stayed with me. But her last character, I don't like number one. Two, but I did not even do anything. We are in Abuja, likewise. So he stayed with me. We had a little problem, one or two things. They called her parents to come over, her family, her brother. She came with her brother, but when this issue came up, the brother now said she should come and meet me. When did she come? I said, okay, no problem. I accepted her. She stayed with me to deliver everything in my house. So, getting to some time last 2 years, they have small misunderstanding. I don't know. That my daughter is almost a year plus 10. So, getting to know, we have a little problem here because my work doesn't give me chance. I came back 9, 10, 11 sometimes. So, he said, it is not only my work that I used to be working that I want there following there. I said, what must this say? So before you know, that thing come and bring a problem. Before you know, I don't know where he bring this charm from. I don't know. In my heart, because my younger one is staying with me too. My last born is staying with me then. Our last born is staying with me. So I was back in my bathroom. Before I know, I see the little girl, my daughter, bring something from leather. Daddy, I should take. I saw her, before I opened my bathroom door, I saw her with some leather. I picked that, I collected that leather from that little girl. I opened it, it was a charm that they tie in a leather. And I imagine, what was it? I asked my younger brother, he said, it's not him. I said, how come? This thing come to my, and I asked my wife, I said, who owns this thing? He said, it's she that has it. I said, is it for what? He said she wants to rub it in her tummy. That her tummy is too big. Then the abokiman advised her that if she rub the thing in her tummy,
Mr. Daniel.
her tummy will flat.
Mr. Daniel.
So I got, yes?
Are you married to her?
Yeah, it's a friend. It's a friend to me. But when she is pregnant, she decided to come and meet me and we are paying together.
So you're not married to her?
I have not done anything in her head.
Okay. What is the problem now? What's the problem you're having?
The problem is that since then, when we have this a little misunderstanding, she bought this time with her Pokemon to come and I don't know whether it poison or to let me die. I don't really understand the procedure she collected from the jam from. So I was like, imagine, what will I do? A girl that no matter if you are not the one that I hope to marry, my girl is in the school, but we are friends. When you told me you are pregnant, I said, okay, let's keep
Mr. Daniel.
Okay, Mr. Daniel. Mr. Daniel.
Mr.
Okay,
Daniel.
this is Probono Chambers, yeah? We have a lawyer. We have a lawyer in the studio. So what do you want this lawyer to advise you to do in this situation?
So then,
we're running out of time. The thing is, we're running out of time. So you just have to tell us so that at least we'll use the small time we have left to answer you, okay?
Okay. All right, okay.
Okay.
I'm not saying you should go. Okay, you've told us she has charms, yeah? You feel she's using charms on you, perhaps.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
You said she's using charms.
Yes.
So you are not comfortable anymore. What advice do you need from the lawyer?
Okay, I should look for a lawyer.
What advice do you want to get right now?
Yes, okay.
Hello.
Okay, don't worry. I will just advise him.
Okay.
Yeah, because we are short of time. You didn't have any rights to start cohabiting the woman because she was pregnant for you. That is not enough. If you must cohabit with her, you should have gone to marry her. You know, legalize your cohabitation, because whatever is happening to you right now, you can't go and start seeking remedies because you said you're cohabiting her.
But she also agreed. You're saying this because you're a lawyer, right?
No,
yeah.
I'm not done yet.
Oh.
You were only responsible for the child if the child is yours after you had done a paternity test. But you didn't do any paternity test and adopted the child and the woman too. So if you have any fear and try to live, you initiated it from the onset. You can as well separate this cohabitation you have initiated upon yourself by going to obtain a paternity test for that particular child to know if you're responsible for that child. And then if you are responsible for the child, you have to provide for the child the necessities for the development of the child. And for the woman, if you don't want any relationship with her, you make it very formal with her and then have an understanding with her to take care of the child while you both are living separately in your different spheres, except you still want to take responsibility of taking care of the woman till further notice, till you guys determine what you want to do with yourself. But coming to tell us that you think she has charm on you, and
I wondered what kind of advice you give us, especially in the area of the charms.
Sincerely, because law does not believe in metaphysical. We don't recognize charms.
In the Nigerian law, there should be room for juju, please.
We don't recognize that under
okay. That's the most we can take our pro bono chambers this month. Do you have any more advice to anybody listening?
Not really.
Okay.
We just need to understand that we have rights to have a healthy environment in our workplaces as employees. And the employers also need to understand that these rights are enforceable, and they need to know that there's a need for health and safety management for not just the benefit of employees, but also the benefits of the employers. You need life to work for you.
Okay, you need employees that are alive, healthy, and in the right mental state to be able to be productive for
Definitely,
you.
Yeah.
All right, then many thanks to you, Barrister Adanna. This is an unsolicited advice from me. This is not from Pro Bono Chambers now. From me to all these people like Mr. Daniel and Abdul and another person, who called in, and so many others who are trying to call and have, are still thinking of calling or not to call. Whatever happened to protected sex? I don't know. For instance, now, I have to talk to you, Mr. Daniel. Now you're saying you have a girl somewhere else that you wanted to marry and yet you were having unprotected sex with another person. Yeah, I mean, this goes beyond just...
You expose yourself to diseases?
The diseases. Beyond having children that you're not really ready for and you're not even sure if it's yours. So what happens to if you must sleep around, protect yourself? If for nothing, I mean, for the sake of your health. So please, this goes out to anybody who cares to listen. I mean, at this point, we really should not be talking about this at this time. They're spending
the list of our problems.
The entire world is spending a lot of money and, trying to protect people, help people protect themselves. And yet, we're doing this.
Very important.
Yeah, no one will tie you and say you must not do. And I think that's why they're saying, okay, protect yourself if you must do. So please, let's try.
Apart from having babies, there are more risks.
Yeah, there are more.
Yeah, there are more risks.
And now you have the risk of juju in your house and all that.
Exactly. So there are more.
And unfortunately, our lawyer here has... Okay.
I have no solution to your problem.
Thanks to everyone for being a part of Pro Bono Chambers this morning. And we'll do this again tomorrow, God willing. But stay with us on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. More of our programs coming your way. But this is where I say goodbye. My name is Ruth Usman. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Join our diverse team of legal experts as we provide